For Your Money is brought to you by NelsonCorp Wealth Management.
It's now time for Your Money. We're joined by David Nelson, CEO of NelsonCorp Wealth Management. Happy New Year, David.
Thank you. You as well, Randy.
So now that 2022 is officially underway, what are you looking at to help guide some of your clients with some good advice?
So taking a look at the big picture is really key. And when we look at that, I brought along a chart today that I think is going to help folks as far as digest some of this and make sense out of it. So we're looking at bull markets, and bull market comes in three phases: the early stage, the mid-cycle, and then the late stage. Where we are today, I'll kind of walk through here shortly where we think we happen to be. But it's very important as far as when we look at this, and I want folks to start on the left-hand side, and the blue is going to be the early cycle, the red's going to be the mid, and then the white is going to be the late cycle. What we see as far as the S&P 500, the early cycle, are the big returns. If we move to the right, we see stocks versus bonds. Now this has a little bit of a shift. It's kind of interesting. The early stage was okay returns. The mid stages were the best returns as far as in the stocks versus bonds argument as far as between the two. Now moving further to the right, this is small caps versus large caps. Which is the best performer during what cycle? So when we look at the first one there, that blue, we see big returns as far as in small caps compared to large caps in the early cycle. However, in the mid-cycle and the late cycle, the shoe's on the other foot, and it's quite dramatic as far as the difference between the two there. Then we go to growth versus value. For those that don't know, growth this year has just absolutely trounced pretty much everything else. It's been the place to be owning growth stocks. Last year it was, this year it continues to be. And so we see here in blue the difference as far as value stocks in the early stages typically outperform. The mid stages is when growth outperforms, and then we transition back in the latter stages, value starts outperforming as well. So these are really important cues as far as to try to look forward to what we might be seeing.
Okay, given that outlook, what can viewers do to address possible risks to their portfolios?
I know time's tight, so I'll try to cut to the bottom line. The low-hanging fruit, the easy money, has been made by now. So gains going forward are going to be much harder to get, and certainly things are going to be bumpier. Strategies that have worked as far as in the rearview mirror probably aren't going to work looking forward. If you have decent gains as far as in your portfolios right now, you might want to take a look at, ringing the register as far as on a few of them.
If you missed any of our discussion, we'll make it available for you on OurQuadCities.com.